Rahul Chandegara from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus in Degree Electrical Engineering Department. Today's our video lecture based on a Laplace transform. So just revise the things. So Laplace transform of common function. So just whenever the f of t equal to 1, so the Laplace transform is 1. For t equal to 0 point, only at one impulse, then the Laplace transform is 1. For f of t equal to 1, we have to focus here. Just f of t equal to 1 for all condition, then the Laplace transform is 1 upon s. For f of t equal to t, Laplace transform is 1 upon s square. For f of t, if it is e raised to at, then the Laplace transform is 1 upon s minus a. If f of t equal to e raised to minus at, then the Laplace transform is 1 upon s plus a. For e raised to plus at, it is 1 upon s minus a. For e raised to minus at, it is 1 upon s plus a. For sin omega t, it is 1 upon omega square plus s square. When a constant is multiplied with the f of t, then the same constant will multiply in the Laplace transform. If e raised to at is multiplied with the f of t, then the Laplace transform, instead of f of s, it is f of s minus a. So we have to put s equal to s minus a whenever it is multiplied with the e raised to at. Suppose we know the sin omega t, then if e raised to at multiply with the sin omega t, then in this we have to just not omega square plus 1 upon omega square plus a square, but 1 upon omega square plus s minus a square. So this is the effect when e raised to at multiply with the f of t. When it is shifted or delay, then f of t minus t equal to e raised to ts f of as. When it is divided by a, then a multiply, I am talking about the last scaling, f of t by a, then the a multiply with the f of as. So this formula we have to keep in our mind for Laplace transform. Now we just learn transfer function in Laplace transform. This topic may cover in another 2 subject also, in circuit and network and control theory or control system. So this is the basic of Laplace transform. So a transfer function is an expression that relates the output to the input in the s domain. So r of t, the system is differential equation, then the output is y of t. Differential equation or any mathematical expression between r of t and y of t. So the r of t is our input and y of t is output. So for the Laplace or s domain, r of s transfer function y of s. So the transfer function h of s equal to y of s divided by x of s. So we already know this type of things in LTI system, impulse response, or it called h. So it is h of s equal to y of s divided by x of s. So x of s is given to system, h of s it is a response, then we will get output y of s. So relate the output of a linear system or a component to its input. So describe how linear system respond to an impulse. So h of s is an impulse response. All linear operation allowed scaling, additional and multiplication. For a block diagram, it is a pictorial expresses flow and relationship between elements in system. So the rules are: the cascaded or non-loading elements, it will be convolution. For other elements, it is summation and differences element. So we can simplify the block diagram. If block diagram is very large, then we can use these rules. For cascaded, it may be a multiplication or convolution, and using summation and difference, so we can reduce our blocks in the simplest method to solve the transfer function. Transfer function, it means whatever we input given to the system, what type of output we will get, that's called a transfer function, transferring input to the output. This is a typical block diagram. In this, this is a pre-filter G1S, and it called as a R of S is the output. So this is input values or whatever the G1S, it is way through the input as a R of S. So this called a summation point, then or feedback point. So then G1 of S is goes to control and plant. This phenomena is called our plant input U of S. So whatever the system, it is differential equation, Laplace, it things will happen here. Then we will get our output Y of S. For error checking method, we take some example. If this is the temperature, input is temperature, we have to want a cooking process. For that we want 100 degrees Celsius temperature. By output we will get cooking process or food. For this feedback, we just check whatever our desired output it we are taking or not. If it is not, then this feedback will help to the input to increase temperature or decrease the temperature. So this is the whole system. In simplicity, this is input, this is our system, this is output, and this is feedback. So feedback system, it is some portion or part of output will give to the input, and it will check it is desired output or not. If it is not desired output, then it will be increase or decrease in input and in the system. So here H of S multiply Y of S, it is our feedback system. So this is the block diagram of transfer function. So example, here we are taking some electric circuit. So this is voltage, this is R, so this is plus minus, plus minus, plus minus and plus minus, and this is plus and minus. So if we take KVL, so starting from left side, then the clockwise direction, so this is plus V, so equal to the current multiply with the R, it is R multiply I of t plus 1 upon C integration I of t dt plus L di by dt. So V of S equal to R I of S plus 1 upon Cs multiply with the I of S and plus SL I of S. So we are ignoring the initial condition. So V of S equal to, just I of S will be common, so it is R 1 upon R plus 1 upon Cs plus SL, and I of S will be common. So just we are taking LCM as a CS, then the CS will be multiplied with the all the elements. So first is CL S square, then CRS plus 1 upon CS IS. So now we make the equation IS upon VS, so it is CS by CL S square plus CRS plus 1. So here is our input V of S, this is output I of S, and then the system is CS upon CL S square plus CRS plus 1. So we can make block diagram from the circuit from the equation. So now the some point what we can do in this property by block diagram reduction rules. So this we have to keep in mind. So whenever two blocks are in the cascaded G1 and G2, then we can multiply G1 multiply by G2. This is the series. In series it multiply. So or series, or we can say cascaded. So whatever in this block and this block will be multiply and make a single block. So this is called for parallel. For parallel, U is our input, Y is output, and between this is our system. So G1 here the summation plus this is not feedback. In feedback the direction is from output to the input, but if it direction from input to the output, so it is called a summation. If it is output to the input, then it called a feedback. So in parallel, if it is sign plus and plus, then it will be addition. If it is minus, then it will be subtract. So in parallel, G1 parallel G2, then the block diagram reduction method, it will be added like G1 plus G2. If this sign is negative, then the G1 minus G2. If this sign is negative, then minus G1 plus G2. If both the sign is negative, then minus G1 minus G2. This is the rule for block diagram reduction. For feedback or for feedback operation, so here we can see that the portion of the output will goes to the input side, and must be checked here the sign is negative. So whenever this type of system, then the block diagram reduction method is G1 divided by 1 plus G1 G2. So it's called a forward path from input to output. It is called a G1 divided by 1 plus loop. So it is loop. So loop is 1 plus G1 plus G2. So this equation make the block diagram reduction. So rational Laplace transform. So we already know what is the pole and zeros. In the transfer function, if the transfer function becomes 0, it calls zeros. If the transfer function become infinity, it's called poles. So f of s become infinity, then it's called a poles. F of s becomes 0, then it's called zeros. And the order of system is called highest number of pole raised to. If s raised to m in the denominator, so it's called order of system. Now the first order system. So y of s upon R of S. So Y of S is output, R of S is input. So it equal to K by 1 upon ST. So we have to make this system for this one. So here the first K block, then this is multiply with the 1 plus ST, so it become a in series, so it may be multiply, divide by a feedback system, so it become K divided by 1 plus K ST. So we can also write as is equal to K by 1 upon 1 plus ST. So this called a first order system. We are just learning the block diagram method, which coming in the subject control theory or control system. This is the simplest foundation of Laplace transform. We just check our theorem, initial value theorem and final value theorem, by using a Laplace transform. How it can be helpful for finding these two theorem as an application of Laplace transform. So first we know the what is initial value theorem. In initial value of f of t as t approaches 0 is given by f of 0 equal to limit s tend to infinity s f of s. For example, if f of t equal to e raised to minus t, then the Laplace transform of f of t equal to f of s equal to 1 upon s plus 1. We already know how to find e raised to minus t, the Laplace transform. In this video lecture, in the starting, we check the equation of e raised to minus t. It is e raised to minus at equal to 1 upon s plus a, but here a equal to 1, so it is e raised to minus t. The Laplace transform is 1 upon s plus 1. Now we put in this theorem for finding f of 0. So this is f of t, f of s, and this is f of 0. So f of 0 equal to limit s tend to infinity s f of s, but f of s equal to 1 upon s plus 1. So this is s upon s plus 1. So for finding this value, what we have to do, so it is limit divide each and every term by s, so it become 1, so s by s equal to 1 again. So I will write here s by s by s plus 1 by s. So s by s cancel, s by s cancel, so it is limit 1 upon 1 plus 1 upon s. Now we will put s equal to infinity. So here s equal to infinity, it becomes 0. So 1 divided by 1 equal to, we will get answer as a 1. So f of 0 limit s tend to infinity s upon s plus 1, we will get the answer 1. So if you let me write again, so limit each and every term divided by s, s by s, s by s plus 1 by s. So s has cancelled, so it is limit s tend to infinity 1 upon 1 plus s. Now we put 1 upon infinity, so it become a 0. 1 upon infinity become 0. So 1 divided by 1 equal to 1. So we can find initial value theorem by using Laplace transform, and we will get the answer equal to 1. For this example, for f of t equal to e raised to minus t, we just taken one example for study Laplace transform application in the initial value theorem. for final value theorem, again limit final value theorem, the final value of f of t as t approaches infinity is given by f of 0 equal to limit s tend to 0. In initial value theorem, in limit s tend to infinity, but final value theorem it is tends to 0 s f of s. Now again we are taking one example like f of t equal to e raised to minus t, and we know the Laplace transform of f of t equal to f of s equal to 1 upon s plus 1. Now we will put this f of s value in this equation, so it become limit f of 0 equal to limit n tend to 0 s upon s plus 1. So now we directly put s equal to 0 here, so it become 0 divided by 0 plus 1. So 0 divided by 0, it means we get the answer 0. So e raised to minus t initial value is 1 and the final value is 0. So we can plot it here. So this value is 1, so it is initial value is the 1 and the final value is 0. So we know e raised to minus t, the graph is exponentially decay. So this one is initial value theorem and this 0 is final value theorem. So we will get the first initial value and final value by putting, for initial value we put s equal to infinity, for final value we will put s equal to 0. So we will get the first and last value of f of t. Now let's check one example for find the initial value and final value of given Laplace transform. So we have already Laplace transform, we have to just put our initial and final value theorem. So apply initial and final value theorem to this example. So here given y of s equal to 2 upon s plus 2 multiply s plus 4. So directly Laplace transform of the function is given. Now what we have to find? Final value theorem and initial value theorem. For first finding final value theorem, so here the equation final value theorem is f of 0 limit s tend to 0 s f of s. So one s is multiplied with the f of s. So here limit f of t s, so here I am making limit s tend to final value theorem s of 0 equal to f of s multiplied by s. Now we directly put s equal to 0, so it become 2 multiplied by 0, where in whatever the place s we will put s equal to 0. So 2 multiplied by 0 divided by 0, 0 plus 2. So it s and this s will be cancelled. So our equation become 2 divided by 0 plus 2 and 0 plus 4. So 2 cancel, then we will get the answer 1 by 4. So this is s and s, before putting limit it will be cancelled. So it become 1 by 4 is our answer. For initial value theorem, it is we have to put, so it s will be cancelled, so we will 2 infinity plus 2 infinity plus 4. So infinity plus any value it is infinity, and infinity multiply infinity is infinity, and 1 upon infinity is a 0. So initial value theorem the answer will be 0. For final value theorem it is 1 by 4. Then the plot of this is from 0 to 1 by 4. So this will be, we will get. So initially the answer is 0, and the final value is 1 by 4. Now study what is pole and zeros. So the pole of Laplace function are the value of s that make the Laplace function evaluate to infinity. So they are therefore the roots of the denominator polynomial. So in this equation, 10 multiply s plus 2 divided by s plus 1 multiply s plus 3 has a pole at, so s plus 1 equal to, we have to put 0, so s equal to minus 1, and another s plus 3 equal to 0, so s equal to minus 3. So we know the pole at s equal to minus 1 and pole at s equal to minus 3. And the complex poles always appear in complex conjugate pairs. The transient response of system is determined by the location of pole. So this is called a pole. Now the zero. The zero of Laplace function are the value of s that make the Laplace function evaluate to the 0. They are therefore the zeros of the numerator polynomial. So we have to check the only, for 0 we have to check numerator. For poles we have to check denominator. So has a 0. So s plus 2 equal to, we have to put 0. So it become s equal to minus 2. So for this example, 0 at s equal to minus 2. So if we have to plot this all the things, then I will, so this is plus side, this is minus, this plus, and this is minus. So s equal to minus 2, so minus 1 minus 2, so it called a 0. S equal to minus 1, this is called pole, and s equal to minus 3, it is called pole. So we will plot pole by using cross and 0 using 0. So complex zeros always appear in complex conjugate pair. So let me take one example. What is a complex conjugate pair? So if 3 plus 4j, then the other pair is 3 minus 4j. It's called complex conjugate pairs. So a plus jb and a minus jb, it called complex conjugate pair. So a system stable if bounded input produce bounded outputs. The complex S-plane is divided into two regions. The stable region, which is the left half of the plane, and the unstable region, which is the right half of the S-plane. If in previous example I already draw, the all pole and 0 is the left side, so it called a stable system. If poles are in the right side, then it called unstable system. So we have to plot pole and 0 in this S-plane, and we can comment on stability if all the plane and the pole and zeros in the left side of S-plane, then the system is stable. If any one pole are coming in the right side, then it called unstable system. These two things are complex conjugate. So it is a plus jb and a minus jb. So here is a, and this is b, plus b and minus b. So it will be a plus jb and a minus jb. So it left side, so it is minus a jb. If it is right side, then it is a plus jb and a minus jb. If it is left side, about these two pole, so it is minus a plus jb and minus a minus jb. It called a pair, a complex conjugate pair, which is mentioned in previous slide, complex conjugate pair. So it is symmetric about the x-axis. Thank you.